Well, this video is going to be on, as the title says, slaves. I had a dream, I think it was Sunday, Monday night, I was doing a live uplink, doing a video on being a slave. And when I get a word from God that I pray about it, make sure that it's truly from Him and that it's something that I should be doing a video on. And once I decided to do a video on it, I really started being attacked by Satan, and have him using other people to do it, as I'm sure, and I know that most of you are and have been. A lot of us think about being a slave as you're taken into incarceration, or you're put under bondship, and you're forced to do things and live within confines of something, being a physical slave. Now, this happens. It's just your body that's a slave. Your soul, your spirit is always free. And nothing can or will ever separate us from the love of God. I've had quite a few dreams, as a lot of us have, when I was younger and lately, on things that are going to be happening. And there are a lot of bad things. We wonder why things are happening in the stock market. The 900 million people are living in famine right now. Things that are going on. Well, why is this happening? Some people say, what's going on? Well, it's all right here. And it's going to get worse. And things are in the works now. FEMA has for a while now been putting on a big push to hire people in this economy. And right now, why are they doing this? Why are troops being trained to deal with martial law on American soil and to deal with crowd control? Why are internment camps being built in this country, and have been for a couple of years now? As Christians, I've been being led to make sure that we know certain things, how to walk the walk, how to behave as a Christian. We can't be fighting within the ranks and be sowing seeds of dissension. We can't be doing this. We are one family, and we are His. And we have a great time with each other that are His, and that choose to be a family. But as Christians, we have to ingrain and burn certain Bible verses and texts into our souls and hearts. Excuse me. Ephesians 6:10 through 18. And as Nate said in his video, never ever take off your armor. We have to mend it sometimes, we have to keep it polished, but you never take it off. Romans 8:26 through 28. We don't always have to know what we're praying about or praying for. The Holy Spirit does. And all things work to the good for God. And my favorite verses in the Bible, Romans 8:35 through 39. You have to know these things. Psalms 23, Isaiah 40, verse 31. I can't quote most of these words for word, but I know them where it counts in here. I know these verses, and it's going to come in handy times that are coming. We're going to need to know these things. You don't have to be locked up to be a slave. If you are held captive by sin and ruled by sin, then you are a slave. Let me read something to you. John 8. The Jews were just, Jesus said this, if you abide in my word, verse 31, if you abide in my word, you are my disciples indeed. 32, if you shall know the truth shall make you free. And the Jews got incensed. They said, what do you mean make us free? We're Jews. We're the seed of Abraham. We never have been a slave and never will be. And Jesus said to them, most assuredly I say to you, whoever commits a sin is a slave of sin. Jesus is talking about spiritual slavery. We can be a slave to porn, Satanism, evil, hate. There are all sorts of things that we can be a slave to that can separate us from God, that can lead us away from Him. Also, besides being a slave to sin, Satan is distracting us by being a slave to certain, what I call little things that aren't what we call sin-like. I mean, they're not going to separate you from God, but Satan is distracting us, and we're becoming a slave to shopping, sports, computer, work, music, and the big one right now, politics. We're being distracted from His joy, from His love, from the fellowship of other Christians. We're being distracted from spreading the gospel. We're being distracted from studying the Word. I mean, I pay attention to these things also, and I do fall into this category sometimes with things, and I do catch myself worrying and wondering about things, and I'm very impatient. I tell God that all the time. I tell Him, yeah, but, and He knows all. Are we slaves to these? How much of our day do these things occupy? How much time in our day do these things occupy? And because you're doing these things, I mean, it's not going to separate you from the love of God. You're still His. But just be aware that Satan is distracting us with these little tiny things, with these small things, that if we're not careful, it's going to add up to big things. Don't let anything distract you from His love, from His peace, from His fellowship. We're all but one big happy family here. At least we should try to be. Jesus had 2 commandments. Love God with all your heart, and love each other as yourself. By the love we show to each other, that's how others are going to know we're Christians. Real hard times are coming. They're right around the corner. We have to be here for each other. Don't be a slave. We are free. We have been set free. Agape.